When I create a model like this, what I try to do is tell a story. I think it's important that when a person views a model that they're kind of drawn into it and want to kind of experience it. And so, for example, in the first state fair, which was 1850, what I try to do is capture the story of how people got there. Because at that time period, they used the Miami and Erie Canal and the railroad system. That was the only way that they got to the fair. So that's why if you look at that model closely, you'll see there's the canal going and people on there with all the animals and that kind of thing. And the idea behind it is just to create a story that shares the experience of what it was like to be at those fairs. When you see all four models together and you get to see the transition, I think it really does tell the story of the growth of Ohio. That first fair, the model, when you look at it, you can see that it's mostly trees and landscape and some farm equipment, which was certainly the real draw, was to share in the farming and agriculture. But I think as you look at that model and then you compare that to the 1900 model, and you see that the permanent buildings that are there and the architecture, that 1900 model was really more, that fair was more like the World's Fair. It was an opportunity to share the technology and the changes. And if you think about that time period, I mean, that was, automobiles were just really getting going and that kind of thing. And it really was a hopping time for invention. And I think that you really see that as the focus of the 1900. And actually the park that was at the fairgrounds at that time period was designed and built by the same architect that did Central Park in New York. And then when you look at the 1950, you see more, it starts to become more of the activities, the Midway and the Ferris wheel, and some of those things start to really be part of it. Like the Machinist Hall, where they're actually showing the flea market where they're selling all their wares and those kind of things. That kind of starts to become more important then. And now when you look at the current one, and the current model, the 2000 fair, was 3 times the size of the other models. And even at that, it had to be condensed to try to capture as much as possible. But in that fair, I think you just get really a sense of growth and how important the fair has become and how large it is now. I really see the state fair as being kind of a gathering point. It brings all Ohioans together, no matter what their walk of life, and gives us really a sense of community, something that I think is a little tough in this fast-paced, busy world that we have. You know, everyone's connected online, but they're not necessarily there together and get to see each other and experience. And I think the State Fair really allows us an opportunity to take pride in the work that we do and to come together as a group and really be a community.